It's party time. Oh my god, yes. Let me go move that. Hi. Welcome to the stream. It is time to watch the World Cup, and I should probably go do that Discord post things that people know that we're actually here watching the World Cup. You know, but you're already here. Tarman's already here. I heard Morocco's about to kick France all over the yard. You heard right. Hey. Come back, brother. There we go. Good evening. Good evening. What's all just jib? Oh, what is that? That's too many cables on my desk right now. It's a real mess. Okay, so. There's no way Morocco does this. But Morocco's made a change to their lineup. If you look over here, like for real, they've made a change to their lineup. I'm not. This is no joke. They've made a change to their lineup and they've gone with a third center back. Morocco has 3 center backs in the field right now. That is, like actually, Morocco has a third center back in the field. They brought it's Jawad El Yamik is the guy. He's right. There. That that guy. Jawad El Yamik. That's more than 2. I know. I can barely count that high. So they've gone with 3 center backs, dude. I don't know if this is gonna work out for them. They're changing the way that they're playing. They're clearly more scared than they were previously. Like in the other games that they played, obviously. But I don't really know. The two, like, why change tactics? Yeah, that's the thing I don't know. Saiss is playing, yeah. So Roman Saiss is on the field. Naif Aguerd is back. Nuzar Mazraoui's back. Those are the 3 guys that were injured. They're all back, which is great news. Like, we didn't know if they were going to be back or not, but they are back. The problem is that they're like not entirely fit, and they've changed their formation. No, France isn't safe either. France legitimately has 2 new guys as well. Yusuf Fofana's not a regular starter. Ibrahim Konate's coming for Dayo Upamecano. Now, Upamecano had a pretty bad match last time around, but like still, you really going to pull Dayo Upamecano going into this? Maybe. Maybe that's what they wanted to do. But it's not like the center backs for France are really going to make or break this match. Who changed? Morocco changed formations. Morocco has 3 center backs on the field. Roman Saiss, Naif Aguerd, and Jawad El Yamik have all only played center back at this tournament. That's it. They've only played center back at this tournament, which means that change, they haven't all started at the same time because they've only played center back and they've only played with that back 4. Upamecano's ill. Says somebody like, I honestly think you could justify changing out Upamecano based off the way he played in the last match, especially when your substitute is literally one of the better center backs in the top leagues in the world. Like Ibrahim Konate is a very, very good center back. So maybe the illness is a cover, man. I'm telling you, it's freaking conspiracy. I'm not going to go there, but I do think that you could justify the change either way. I'm a little surprised that they would have made it. But if he's ill, he's ill. And then who else is out? Somebody else is out because Yusuf Fofana doesn't. Yusuf Fofana's appeared off the bench before. He's a guy from the French league. Upamecano is available on the bench today, but I'm trying. Oh, Rabiot. Rabiot's not even on the bench. Rabiot's. He wasn't training. The Emergence. Can you count? Yeah, guys, we're watching the game with Jack, by the way. You might know him as Working the Space. Welcome. Who do you think is going to win this game, Jack? Oh, wait, apparently they can't hear you. Well, that ruined your whole intro.
Oh,
no, here now that
intro. I can do a new intro.
No, they can hear you now. I'm still learning this new audio interface, and they couldn't hear you.
Hello,
that was
everyone.
my bad. Hello.
There's Rabiot. Oh, wait, no, it's a random bloke in the crowd. Looks like Rabiot, same beard.
It did look like Rabiot. Oh, that when Mans looks a lot like Rabiot right now. Such a fan of you. Hope you enjoy the game.
I think France are going to win this.
The resigned guy? Yes. Reese Hind is our guest
that's
today.
Me. I am bitter, so I have got my face painted with like Morocco flags and stuff, to really support the team because I don't want France going any further now. I'm bitter.
What did you think of that game for England? I agree with Jude Bellingham. I thought you guys were the better team. What happened?
They were on top and then they got the goal. And I think at that point, France were kind of content just to sit back and try and hit us on the break with Mbappe and just the pace they have and the ability they have to go long to Giroud. It was a game that I think was heavily influenced by that first goal. Because at that point, they were more willing just to defend and kind of catch us out if we overcommitted. I mean, the worst thing about it, obviously, is the missed penalty. Because there's so much of a what-if factor about that. But at the same time, it's one of the first World Cup exits I can remember where people are kind of just like, yeah, we lost to France. They're quite good, aren't they? There's no shame in going out to this team.
That's right.
So,
I had England down as the 5th best team at the tournament, and I had France down as the 2nd best team. So it's like there's no shame in losing that, right? But I thought the thing is England played well too.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you play badly and go out, it's almost it's still disappointing, but you don't think as much about the what ifs. Whereas it's kind of hard to not look at that game and think on another day that you can win that. But that's football.
That's football.
I'm very intrigued by Morocco here because they've defended really compactly in the middle and let teams go out wide. But I think the way you beat them is by taking on a man in the wide areas. Spain don't have players who can carry the ball past a player and then pick out a pass.
Well, I'm going to say
or
something.
At least they didn't show that against Morocco.
Exactly.
Players that can do that, but it just didn't exist. You can't play through the middle of this Morocco team. I don't think it's possible.
And France doesn't need to because Spain has no attack, relatively speaking. Obviously, the U.S. would kill for some of those players, but relatively speaking, Spain has no attack. They have 10 midfielders on the field. Portugal, Ronaldo's a little old finally, and they don't really have a great attack either. I mean, we're looking at Otavio, we're looking at Gonzalo Ramos, we're looking at Rafael Leao. These guys are very good, but in the World Cup stage, is that a difference-making front line?
Leao was so disappointing when he came on.
Honestly, consistently throughout the World Cup, he looked like maybe sometime in the future. When at club level, he's already the guy. He's already, whoa, look at this guy.
Yeah.
I think
I'm interested to see how this plays out, though. I think it's going to be a really interesting tactical game. My concern is I think if France get a goal or two early, it's just GG. Because I don't know if Morocco have the ability to take the game, especially if France manage the game like they did against Liverpool, against England.
No, I think that this is, arguably the best attack in the world, but definitely the best attack that Morocco has played against very good teams, but they have not played against a team that is as top heavy as France is. Ousmane Dembele is at the top of his game right now from everything I've seen him deliver. Olivier Giroud is at a World Cup level, still a huge difference maker, I think. And then they just put up the graphic for the lineup. It's Dembele, Griezmann, and Mbappe. This is a whole different animal for Morocco to try and deal with today.
I love Griezmann so much as well. He is so underappreciated. He's just taken the record for most assists in French football history, and he was
nobody even
the ball of quality. That's the thing, right? Everyone's going on about Giroud's record, and I almost feel like consistently assisting is almost more impressive because you're not the spearhead of an attack. Like,
Yeah.
clearly he's a player they play through. But it's going to be interesting to see how they line up with the three centre-backs. I heard you saying that just as I joined.
Chat's kind of agreeing with me too, and I think Morocco's acknowledged that because they are going with the back five today. So Morocco looked at this and they were like, "We have to play this a different way." And Garrett is back and Mashraoui is back, which is like this is all huge stuff for them. But let me get my clock up so that we have the appropriate clock on the screen because we got our boys on the field. It is World Cup semifinal time. Is it just me or does every time I watch a match like this, Champions League final included and stuff like this, I can never seem to grasp the magnitude of what I'm watching? Like the next 90 minutes, I will remember these next 90 minutes for the rest of my life. I will remember what happened.
I feel like when it's your own nation or your own team, you almost savor it more. But because when you're a neutral, it's not something that's consumed you for the whole week leading up to it. There's kind of this mode where like a flick of the switch happens when that whistle goes at the start.
We've kicked off. I'm going to get the clock up for you guys here in a sec. I'm going to start it on 25 seconds when they sync it up. France is pressing. That's not a surprise. Oof.
I was really impressed by Morocco's ability to carry the ball in seeing out the game against Portugal. They really composed players on the ball in a really kind of high pressure situation. It's weird, right? Because when you have a team that's so defensively solid, you don't really associate them with having a midfielder attack that's allowed some creative freedom going forward, but they have found a balance with that.
I have always, something that Carlo Ancelotti said to a young Real Madrid defender like 2 years ago, I can't remember who it was. It's always stuck with me. Was like, you have to play brave. This is what he said. He's like, you have to play brave. You have to attempt the pass. Like, I know you're good enough to make the pass, but you aren't attempting the pass. You have to, and Morocco plays really brave. Like, nobody will look at Soufiane Boufal and be like, oh yeah, that dude totally is like a bona fide world-class winger running with the ball, but he's played so brave in this tournament. Like, he goes for it.
It's weird, right? I feel like whenever you have a World Cup, there's always a few breakout players. And I think there's a few players in this Morocco team that have had a big spotlight put on them through their performances. And not just the results, it has actually been the performances as well. It's one thing to be the underdog and kind of smash and grab. But the way that Morocco have done it is through being one of the best defenses in the whole competition.
I haven't allowed a goal that they didn't score yet. They allowed the own goal against Canada, right? Was it Canada? I don't remember.
Oh, you're testing my memory. There's been so many matches, hasn't there? Like, it feels sad to think there's only two games left.
I know. Well, there's three. How dare you forget the
sorry.
I don't think I've ever watched the third place game.
Does anyone watch the third?
I don't know.
When England were in it last time, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
Too.
And yet, when I'm like, I'm doing a watch along of every World Cup game, everybody's like, well, don't forget the third place game. And I'm like, what?
It's really interesting watching how France play as well, where Griezmann plays alongside Giroud, but then drops back into the midfield so much because obviously Mbappe's not going to track back in the same way. That was one thing they did really well last game. Actually, Rabiot covered the space behind Mbappe.
Garrett is not playing? No, I mean he. Dude, why does this keep happening with Morocco? The dude was on the lineup and in the pregame lineup, and he's not on the field. You're right. I'm looking at the. What is going on with this team, dude?
They've done that
they
twice.
did this with Bunu, too.
Is this a strategy?
Dude. What? Like, it's definitely a strategy. Ashraf Dari is playing. Who's in charge of this stuff?
I want it as a feature in Football Manager, please. I want to be able to change my mind after I've seen the formation they're playing on the tactics screen at the very beginning.
God, I did the lineups like right before I went live, and I saw him on the pregame graphic. Freaking unbelievable. Ashraf Dari. That is the second time they've done that. That's sus. One time, wild. Second time, yeah, well, if they announce the lineup, we've learned this rule because of Morocco. If they announce the lineup and then somebody from that announced lineup doesn't take the field as part of the starting 11, they can't be eligible as a substitute. So of course he's not going to be on the like. It's impossible for him to be on
Do
the
you
bench.
reckon in that situation it's a case of they're injured or like unable to play pre-game and they know it, but they might as well just bluff with it because it's not really a penalty because they was never going to play anyway?
Honestly, there is nothing that keeps you from doing that.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Ooh,
That's an
Griezmann.
insane ball.
That's a great ball. Antoine
on his left.
Oh, he shouldn't have passed. I think he should have just gone because there's 8 guys around Mbappe. Oh, Teo!
Oh,
wow! No!
Wow,
So
that's not what you
early!
wanted to see immediately.
Theo Hernandez for France.
That ball through. That's the first time I've seen them like have a pass and just go through the middle of that.
They just got shredded on that play. Yeah, they
There's
just
so
got
many
shredded.
Morocco fans in the stadium as well. It's crazy.
Well, they were doing like an unreal number of flights a day, like the Royal
Watch
Airline
Griezmann's
for
movement
Morocco.
here, by the way. I hope he's on. No, he is on easy.
I mean, that's
his
just,
movement there is so good from the wide area.
honestly, it's
because
just
the left back
bad
has to
defending.
stay wide.
Yeah, it's just bad defending. What's
They'll just
Bunu
chase the
doing there?
ball.
I've got no issue with the way that Bunu played that. Like, really.
They'll just gravitate towards the ball in the middle. It's the Mbappe effect, right? Like you're so consumed with Mbappe in the box.
Yeah, no, I said it. 8 guys are around Mbappe, and the extra guy happens to be Theo Hernandez, who honestly does really well with that. That was not a wide open window. Wow.
Would his brother have scored that if he was fit?
The question that I mean, if this was, I was going to say the question they'll be asking at the Thanksgiving table every year, but I guess that doesn't necessarily apply.
It was his moment. It was meant to be.
Theo Hernandez in the 5th minute. Well, now we're in your worst case scenario. Now you've got to chase the game. Is the game over, Jack? After 5 minutes, is the game over? Chat, is the game over?
Pre-game, I said, didn't I? I think France have this game management skill. They did it against England. I don't think they have to be as disciplined against Morocco as they were against England, having gone a goal up. But France have already shown that from this kind of situation, with the exception of just being apparently incapable of tackling in their own penalty area, pretty good at seeing out a game and doing these kind of pressures.
They were like that penalty that honestly Theo Hernandez gave away. I know he's the hero tonight already, but the penalty he gave away,
that was mad, wasn't it?
Because it was so obvious. It was one of those things where you're like, it is so obvious what just happened. I can't quite believe that this is such an easy decision to make. Like, it was such a stupid challenge.
And it was completely needless because he didn't even get a red card because he wasn't denying a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Unahi. I love Unahi's story. He was in the 3rd division of France 2 years ago, and now he's lighting it up. The World Cup.
Have had a few players like that over the years that have kind of climbed up. I feel bad
just
for
said
Morocco.
This game is over. I'm leaving. That just guaranteed it. Morocco's going to score. That's the way that works. Jambo, thank you for the 13. Daniel, thanks for the 5. Old Joe, thank you for the tier 1. Griezmann is very good. Yeah. It's just his club career's gone a weird direction, but he always brings it for France, He's one of France's all-time leading scorers, too, on top of being the leading assister. He won the Golden Boot in their World Cup win 4 years ago. Griezmann's kind of a legend for France. Oh, this looks bad.
There is a big gap in front of their 3 centre-backs all the time for this cutback. Like they're not even sitting on the back line.
Somebody find Sofiane Amrabat. That's where he's supposed to be, right? Morocco has to just keep playing like against Portugal and hope for a goal. I mean, if I'm managing Morocco, I'm trying to get to 30 minutes at 1-0. You do not want to turn this into a boat race. Yeah, you want to steady this game, and then that engenders some complacency.
The worst thing you can do is try and chase to get back immediately, like Korea did against Brazil, and just get slaughtered.
And just get smoked, yeah, like a nice brisket. But they do seem to be pressing a little bit. They don't look very good right now. But look, regardless, I wanted to say this, but they freaking scored before I had the chance to say it. Regardless of what happens in this game, this is the best run by an African team ever, and it is an incredible achievement for Morocco, a team that is only at its 2nd World Cup since 1998. This is not a regular World Cup team to begin with. It's always weird to think about stuff like that.
Their squad is like surprisingly strong as well. I mean, it's one of those squads where, on face value of Morocco, I don't look at their team and go, that's a team to be scared of. But actually, when you look at their team on paper, and also obviously how they've now performed, like, they have some real quality there.
Oh, they do.
Like, I feel like if you were to make a tier list of World Cup teams above kind of the, with all due respect, Qatar tier, I probably would have had Morocco in that tier directly above going into this competition. Obviously, new manager coming in so soon before it. Like,
you know why they hired a new manager? Because the U.S. beat them 3-0 in a friendly. Oh, what a save! Get out of here, Hugo. Let us dream. Oh.
I'm not a goalkeeper, so I don't know. Surely as a goalkeeper, you feel like a bit of a bad guy when you save like the penalty to win a game or that save.
Because like that was actually, as long as he got his footwork right, not a super difficult save. But that's one of those saves that looks so freaking cool that you know it's one for the cameras, right? It's one of those that if you get it right, and he did, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, what a save by Hugo Lloris," you know. But you don't feel like a bad guy. I never felt like a bad guy.
I've seen your penalty saves. You didn't make enough to be a bad guy.
I was so hungover in that video. I look forward to playing ball in any other video because I knew going into that, I was like, this is going to be the worst performance of my life.
Padded shorts next time, though.
Yeah, I know. Padded shorts for sure. I don't know if I'd ever tried to save 50 penalties in a row, but that was a terrible idea. The ref wants France to win. Oh, no. If he did, he would have given that. I don't know if I like the way Morocco's playing, even though they had that great shot. This seems a little fly-by-night for me, little guns blazing. Yeah, see, that's a fairly simple save, but man, does it look good on a poster. He's just so good at shot stopping.
I have got a biased reason to want France to win this game.
Why? What's your biased reason?
I have a card in FIFA that upgrades if they win this game and make it to the final.
Really? Yeah. I don't want to alarm anybody. I bought FIFA today.
No,
it's on a huge sale. No, I mean I've bought the last 2 FIFAs. I bought it last year and never opened it. 2 years ago, I bought it and made one video with it. I don't really play it, but it was on a huge sale, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy it just so I have that open, you know,
on a rainy day, right?
Yeah, no, well, not really. I mean, I want to play the World Cup thing. I love the World Cup games. I definitely want to play a few World Cups with the U.S.
I remember having like the Game Boy Advance World Cup game.
You've turned on us? I've owned the last 3 FIFAs, chat. You know this. You're talking to a guy who's literally simulating the worst World Cup over 3 streams on Football Manager, and you're saying he's turned to FIFA? You better make sure you know what you're talking about.
This is the beginning. It's just a steady decline.
Yeah,
now, you know?
No. I had
don't touch the match engine another year. I'll be doing FIFA videos, chat.
Yeah. No, I honestly became that, you know, around 2013, 2014. I was putting thousands of hours into FIFA. That's before I found Football Manager.
I still play too much FIFA.
Yeah, I know you always said you play a lot of FIFA.
Me and my flatmates when I was at university, we used to move it. We had a projector that we used to steal off one of our flatmates.
Oh, I love a projector setup.
We'd stick it up in the kitchen, and it was like a coliseum, the battleground. You'd have 2 people playing, 2 people screaming into wooden spoons from the kitchen like commentators. It was like a gladiatorial arena. Winner stays on.
Yeah, this reminds me of... you didn't have this pleasure because I was a little younger than you. I'm very much younger than you. Dramatically younger than you.
I'm not that old. I'm not that old. 22, chap. 22.
You're like 2 years older than me. But I was in senior year in college when Fortnite came out, and I used 12 guys, in like this 3-story kind of apartment building, and we had 1 living room, and so we had these house rules. So like if you were playing Fortnite on the main TV, like if you died past a certain point, then you'd have to do this, and it would be different things, like you got to take the trash out for the day, or you got to like clean the dishes. And it was all decided based off of Fortnite. And everybody could see who was playing because there was one big TV in the living room. Y'all are young. I'm 26. Jack is 47.
29.
Yeah, he's 29.
And Lelujo is 59
And
next month, so you should all wish him
Lelujo.
happy birthday. 2nd of January. On the 2nd of January, you should all wish Lelujo happy birthday.
Thanks, Grandpa. Oh, Ibrahima Konate is so good. France is unfair. I mean, really, when it's the
You think of all the injuries they've got as well, and they're still this good.
They're missing the Ballon d'Or winner, right? They're missing Benzema. They're missing N'Golo Kante. Their starting left back is out, and his brother is just like a clone. Who else is there? They're missing Rabiot today, who they would prefer to be starting.
They're just all good.
Yeah,
I reckon they could stick Zidane in their team now, and he'd still do a job.
Why can I? Early Upamecano's ill. He is on the bench though. Rabiot's not. And Upamecano was not great against England, if we're being completely honest. Oh, Pogba's out. Christopher Nkunku, who's been in stupid form, is missing from the team. Christopher Nkunku, who I would willing to wager would make any national team in the world in the form he's in. Pogba is just, Mr. Quality.
If there was one area I'd say they're lacking, it's probably the right back area. And even then, I'm being hypercritical because, I mean, Koundé's not bad. Who's their normal right back who's injured?
Pavard? No, but Pavard played in the first game, and then they just said, nope, you're bad. And they've gone with Koundé.
It's kind of mad that you point at Koundé and go, he's the weak. Like, it's not fair because it's not a weak link at all. Oh, please.
Yeah. But I guess you could do that. I would say the worst player they have on the field right now is Youssouf Fofana in the midfield. But they're missing, 4 amazing midfielders. This is better for Morocco. They had some numbers for a second, but Buffon that was a good pass too. It's just an atrocious shot.
It's really interesting to watch them now because this is just not a situation they've been in before.
Oh, God, that was so bad. Saiss. Giroud!
I couldn't tell from the camera angle there what that hit. He hit that so hard.
Wow, Roman Saiss just gets embarrassed here. He just gets out red. And player of Giroud's quality, I mean... that's in if it's on target. He hit that so hard.
What a player. I blinked and I missed it. I was scared it was going to hit me.
Oh, that would have stapled this game. That would have been nails in the coffin there. Yeah, talk about waking up and just finding yourself laying in a pile of daisies. Giroud wasn't even supposed to play at this tournament.
Yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit, Giroud. He's been a bit ginger earlier, and he's hobbling a bit again.
Like for fitness? I know Saiss is.
No, I don't think Giroud doesn't look comfortable. Also, you might know why. Why is there 3 Uzbekistan flags behind the Morocco goal?
I don't know. There was a Kyrgyzstan flag at one of the previous games, too. Central Asia's just rising up, man. Don't know what to tell you.
They're just appearing. This is how it begins.
No, I think Uzbekistan is one of those fun countries that's never been to a World Cup that definitely could make it. They've almost made it a few times. I'm always rooting for them.
I'm now just playing spot the flag. I've seen a Scotland flag, a Canada flag, a Kuwait flag. They're doing a sub already.
Giroud sent him back to Wolverhampton. That's harsh. Wouldn't wish that upon anybody in their form.
Did Saiss come off last game? I know Morocco had a low... Because he did a little signal when he passed the ball a second ago to the bench. I think he's coming off. He did a little sub. And I wonder if that Giroud, like the fact he didn't get to that Giroud ball is...
Well, I mean, he missed... That wasn't physical. That was mental. The ball just bounced over him. Easy enough for... Lloris.
It's not fair that France have one of the best kits and one of the best squads.
Do you think it's one of the best kits? I think it's a
it's
classic
very
kit.
It's just very classic. It's a bit vintage, like the colors, the gold.
Le
I'm a
tricolore,
fan.
right? Isn't that what it is? The tricolor.
Yeah, and also I think they've got a good sock and short color choice.
I'm so sorry. I said that. There's a guy named Wolves fan 5172 who's a part of the Hammers. I am so sorry, man, but you guys have not been in great form recently.
One of 2 Wolves fans in the world is here. That's impressive. Sorry, that's Need Dust. I've just got it for them again.
It was him and Dave as a party, right? I love
Dave as a party.
He's my connection to Wolves fans. He's like the one that I know personally. Oh, Griezmann. Oh, really? Oh my God, this ref is CONCACAF. Uh-oh.
Is he actually?
Yes, I recognize him. Oh, this guy's done a bucket of US games.
Oh, Sice is out. Yeah, I thought I saw him signal.
You were right. You heard it here first, chat. We are the leading line. Roman Saiz is out.
They're going back to a 4-5 rather than the 5 at the back.
Yep. Bringing in Amala, who's played in almost every game. That sucks for Roman Saiz. That's their captain, too. I don't know who gets the armband. Oh, Ziyech. We've covered this. Ziyech gets the armband.
There's not many players, I think, in any team in any of the World Cup squads who you'd gamble if you weren't sure they'd make it past 20 minutes.
But your captain,
for Morocco, he's so important for them. I wonder if one of the reasons they started with 3 centre-backs is because they knew it might be a possibility.
Maybe. That'd be stupid, though, to plan for a lack of success. It's like, I guess because now they're center. Oh, dude, they're in so much trouble. Their center back pairing are their 3rd and 4th center backs in the roster.
I feel like this is the kind of game where you don't want to be bringing on a centre back on off the bench to get up to pace with the game. So maybe if you start with 3 at the back, knowing that one of them might not make it too far in, or it's at least a risk, at least then you're bringing in a midfielder. I'm trying to find some logic to it all, but I mean, this is the team that changed their actual squad after they've taken a photo together. So who knows?
Yeah, twice. They've changed their squad after the anthem on 2 occasions. Because Nayef Agard was definitely in the team. I prepared my talking point for you guys on stream that Nayef Agard was back. That's just so bizarre. Well, I guess maybe there's also a change where it's like, well, let's go back to the system that worked against Spain. Let's go back to the system we played previously, and obviously we can't park the bus for 90 minutes because they've already scored. So I'd be so terrified for them. Even if they had their starting center backs, they're huge underdogs.
This is the first game where they don't look all on the same wavelength as a team.
Yeah, maybe
there's a bit of chaoticness to their shape defensively.
Over tweaking the tactic. Did this guy Pep Guardiola it a little bit?
We've all been there in Football Manager, haven't we? You spend 10 minutes prepping for a really specific game, then you look down a goal immediately. You go, I'm just gonna play what I played last game.
Yeah, nope. Change immediately. Oh, don't call that.
There's nothing there. Oh.
Morocco is also an excellent example of there's certain countries. I know Poland didn't want to call up Matty Cash for a while because he was part of the diaspora. He's not born in the country. Morocco's a great endorsement for really leaning into the diaspora because they have 14 of their 26 players were not born in Morocco. That's a ringing endorsement for using that you can build a winning team that still inspires your country using your diaspora.
I saw a pre-tournament. It was a list of all the different teams and where all the players were born. And I think it was saying 60 of the players at the World Cup were born in France or something absolutely absurd.
Something crazy. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have that list saved on my phone. That's why I know the number for Morocco. But no, France has a ton of players born. Senegal and Cameroon are the main reason for that. Because if I remember right, Senegal had 12 and
Oh.
Cameroon had 12. Oh, that was a little nervy. The players that were like all born in France on their team. Wolves fan, thank you for the $15 donation to Amnesty International. We have raised $9,140 so far because we raised $6,000 during the group stages. I'll be donating 1,000.
So
I'm
hearing that you want us to hit 10,000 by the end of today.
We're already. Oh,
that's what I'm hearing, Z.
Because we're gonna hit 10K because I promised at the beginning of the tournament to donate $1,000 on the day of the final. So
10,000 today, chat. 10,000 today. We can do it. So was it 6,000 on the nose before?
Huh?
Was it 6,000 on the nose?
No, it was like 6,100 and change, but I can't remember exactly, so I was like rounding. But we've raised essentially $9,250 odd for Amnesty over the course of the tournament, which is awesome. Great human rights organization, if you guys don't know. Trying to offset the Qatar World Cup in any way we can because they just killed people to run the tournament, so that was sick.
I was about to say, at this point, if you need to explain it to people, I don't know what's happened.
It's hard to miss. Oh,
why are they shooting from range?
Wow, Hakimi is also miles up the field. This could be a problem. Oh, that was so stupid. Ooh!
Oh.
Azzedine Unahi, you foxy little minx. Okay. Oh, I totally missed a $100 donation. Jack, how do you recommend I recover from that?
What, from missing the donation?
Yeah, I missed a $100 donation.
I think you floss for us on camera.
No, how about I just play the Gary?
No,
that'll do. Okay. Jeff, thank you so much for the one. Jeff has been huge, by the way. Jeff did a challenge. Oh. Really? Really? He's bringing the card out?
There's been a few 50. The foul that was given a second ago on Hernandez wasn't one either.
Yeah, Hakimi just body checked this ref. You might want to watch
They need to not lose their heads here. Did he get stood on here? Oh, it's knee to knee. That does hurt.
Yeah, but it's also like...
It is also when the player makes eye contact with the ref. They're not that badly hurt.
No, he's like checking. Is he calling it? Is he calling it a foul?
Which player was it who did like the little peek that time that was really infamous?
Here's my question. If the ref calls a foul and gives a yellow card to a guy on one team, can he review that for a penalty to the other team? Like, can VAR call him in for that?
I'd assume so. Oh my word, there's so much space on that far side. They all just go to the ball.
It's the weirdest guys that score. Who was the guy that scored the semi-final goal for France 4 years ago? It was the Barcelona center back, the French guy.
Oh,
what's his name? He's the most random guys scoring major matches like this. Umtiti. Yeah, it was Samuel Umtiti.
Now there's a name I've not heard in a long.
Exactly.
Is he still at Barca collecting a paycheck?
I think he is. He's literally the guy that scored in the semifinal 4 years ago. Just absolutely wild. Thank you, Chad. And thank you again to Jeff for the $100 donation. You deserved one of these too. Frickin' air horn extraordinaire.
Wait, your setup changed. I couldn't hear the air horn.
I can route it to you if you would like.
No, I'm fine. I don't need the air horns.
You know what? It sounds like
I pause awkwardly so that I assume the sound has passed.
Got it. Yeah, you can go ahead and you can just keep doing that if you want. I don't know if there's a way for me to send it through to you, actually. Yeah, because I changed the setup. My other one I'd had for the GoXLR I'd had for years, and I finally just... He's on loan. Oh, at Leche. He's on loan at Milk?
That is a fall from grace, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
with respect to Lecce, you know.
Isn't that a... I wanted to say Serie A, but is that... It honestly could be in Spain or Italy. I've heard of the club before, but that's it.
They're in Italy. I'm just not
Okay.
sure if it's Serie B or Serie A. I think it's Serie A.
Not a good question to be asking
we'll
from
guess.
Mr. MTT. He sacrificed his career for the World Cup. Yeah, that's what he did. I mean, he is a World Cup winner, and he played en route to that World Cup. You never take that away. Teo's not a random guy. He's the best left back in the world. I mean, he wasn't the starting left back on this team until his brother popped his knee, which, very sorry to Lucas for that.
That was such a weird injury.
Yeah, but
like
also
really buggered up his knee. He was just running.
Yeah, and then like he just stuck one leg in the air and the other one just folded like a lawn chair. That was a very weird injury to me too, but you could tell what happened right away.
They're the worst ones where there's no contact and they just go down in a heap for like no reason.
In Armando Broja, rest in peace to his knee.
Ah, yeah, that's
he did the same. That was a lovely setup to Unahi. Come on,
go right.
Come on, Ziyech. France has got so many guys back. They got back so quick too. Oh, Buffal, that was nasty.
I think he's miles
Mazraoui,
off.
he might have been. You got it. Yeah, they called it, and the shot was wide, anyways. They got promoted to Serie A last year. Okay, so best left back in the world. I would have gone with Cancelo, but he doesn't even start for Portugal. So like, huh. Yeah, but the point being is I don't think Teo is anywhere near the like consensus best left back in the world. And even if he is, he's not played particularly well this tournament. And if you were getting odds on first goal scorer in this match, he's definitely outside the top 10. So that's what I mean by like just fairly random individuals seem to score these goals in these huge matches.
At the end of the day, you don't expect a left back to score a World Cup semi-final goal. I think that's the point to make.
Ooh.
How do you say it? Is it El Nasri? Is that how you say his name?
I've signed
it. I have it. Every showdown draft mode, I'd get him. So saying him in real life this World Cup's been weird.
Based off my understanding on the way, like, which comes from having been to Morocco for a day and talking to those people and just watching random extended highlight compilations from African qualifying and the AFCON, it's Youssef En-Nesyri.
I feel like I've heard his name said 4 different ways.
Yeah, I definitely have to. But like, you know me, I grind those extended highlights from World Cup qualifying, and that's a foul. Youssef En-Nesyri.
I feel like I could say his name a million times and I'd never get it right.
I mean, it's kind of frenetic. Youssef En-Nesyri.
I don't think you know me that well, Z. I don't do phonetics. I just say it. I go with vibes. We don't sound out words here. That looked late on the top of the foot.
He might give a yellow for that on the way back. Oh, Chouameni!
He's off. Giroud was like, Giroud sat there thinking, I'm not letting you have 2 of those in 2 games.
Nobody's getting my goal scoring record, not while I'm here. The frick out of here.
He gets stood on here. Oh, I'll tell you what. That's
Good
one of those ones where I feel
gracious.
like a few years ago you'd be like, that could have been given as a red.
That is a nasty dude. It's these
Am I
center
mad?
backs, man.
Chat, please tell me if I'm going mad. I feel like in the Premier League a couple of years ago, they gave that as a red with the help of VAR. I know VAR
That's a
interferes way less.
nasty challenge. Straw poll in the chat: red or no red on that? What do you think?
I mean, I
you're
don't
the
think it's a
ref
red
on
by modern
VAR,
standards, but I feel like
red
a
or
few
no
years ago,
red?
those were reds.
I'm saying orange. That's one of those like yellow card and I have my eye on you moments. Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying it's a card, and I don't think you got a card. A few millimeters higher, and that's given as a red.
Well,
so we're talking like the millimeter height here that we're going, that's like where the red is at. That's a red on the spot.
Thing, right, where VAR won't review it for a yellow. Like, they have to decide it's a red. But, like, planted foot like that, like, over the top of the foot. I feel like a few years ago, we've kind of gone back. We've kind of gone backwards with those things. They were one of the things that I feel like was really heavily punished, perhaps too harshly, at least in the Premier League.
In
A few years ago.
CONCACAF, that's a proper challenge, though, so I understand why you didn't give anything. How much in total have you raised for Amnesty? $9,250. We're going for 10,000, which we're already going to hit because I'm donating $1,000 more, but as much money as we can raise as possible is fantastic. So thank you to everybody that's donated again. Jeff with $100 today. Wolves fan with the $15 today. Fofana with the extra point. Yusuf Fofana's like that. You know that image of Drake on the Kentucky basketball team? He's like, bro thinks he's part of the team. That's Yusuf Fofana today. Just like this kind of no-name French, like, high-level French midfielder plays in the French league. I think he plays for, like, it's not Lille. It's, does he play for Nice? Who the heck does he? I don't know who he plays for. I have to look it up. It's going to bother me.
I once went to a house party at the chairman of Lille's house.
Wow.
I was on a French exchange, and his kids went to the school that I did the exchange with.
Yusuf Fofana. Oh, Monaco. He plays for Monaco.
This would have been at the time. That's my niche claim to fame. We let free the dog that had like a shot collar. Oh, he's behind.
Killian. Oh,
it's a great clearance.
Something.
Wow.
Oh my God. Olivier.
They should have scored one of those.
Oh, it should be over. This match should be 50 shades of over. God, Chouameni is so... Real Madrid's going to be so good for the next decade, and it's going to drive me crazy.
I wasn't even going in that Mbappe. I wonder if he was... I can't work out if he was trying to shoot or pass.
Chouameni just made 2 unbelievable passes. He set up Giroud there as well.
I don't know if I want Morocco to win this. I just want a good game of football, and I feel like at 2-0 the game just kind of fizzles out. I do really want a France-Argentina final.
Would that be like either a repeat or Messi? Is that what you're...
Yeah, I just feel like as well. Like, don't get me wrong. I want the if you were like unconditionally Morocco can win it all. I'd be like, yeah, I want them to win it all. But my concern is if they did make it through this, that you might just end up with a really one-sided final. I feel like if France make it through, you end up with a more likely competitive final. And like the last final,
I mean, if France make it through, then we get a rematch of that 3-3 or whatever it was, 4-3, 3-2. I can't remember. Round of 16 match 4 years ago. That we get a rematch of that in the final. I would love that. There were the Benjamin Pavard game. Benjamin Pavard.
I feel like it's been a few World Cups since we had like an immense final.
Yeah, finals normally. I mean, honestly, finals normally suck. Like if you look back, you had Netherlands. Like you had 2 finals that essentially nothing happened until there was a great goal scoring moment in extra time, and then you had the last final, which was just pretty obvious. You want to know a funny story about the final 4 years ago?
Do tell.
I slept through my alarm. I missed all but the last 15 minutes of that game.
Zealand Shannon late for something. I can't imagine that.
I was so mad. It was senior year of college, so I was in, I probably had the libations the night before. I'm in like my dorm, right? I had my college girlfriend at the time, and we're just kind of like, I'm waking up nice and slow, and I'm like, what time is it? And she's like, it's like 12. I'm like, what did you say? It's like shot out of bed. I was just piping mad. Because by the time I turned it on, it was over. And I was like, dude, these do not come around a lot. I want to watch every second of the freaking World Cup final.
Do you know if they've confirmed the times of the World Cup games for the next one? Because it's going to be like a potentially late night for me.
Oh, get over yourself. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. for a week.
No, I say this like it's a problem as the guy sits up watching hockey until 3 in the morning.
True, yeah. No, but I'm sure you guys are like, if they do normal times, like 12 or like 1, 4, 7, and 10, the only match window that would be a problem for you would be 10.
Oh, that's too late.
Because 7, the match would start at midnight. It'd be over before 2. And the only time there'll be matches at 10 are the group stage. Oh, no. Oh, nice tackle, actually, by El Yamik. Although, like both these center backs have not, like El Yamik was the guy that got caught on the first goal by Griezmann, and Ashraf Dari is the guy that nearly took somebody's ankle off in that counterattack. This is hanging by a thread for...
This is the first match where I feel like we've just seen Morocco get carved open repeatedly. You can kind of feel the nerves.
I think it's the nerves. I think they're unlucky with injuries. And I think that France is just better than they are. Like, you combine all of that.
What happened after the free kicks they gave the first few days for pulling in the box on set pieces?
They disappeared into the... Same with the ridiculous stoppage time. It just vanished.
I love the stop. Oh, I love the stoppage time. I'm so sad about that.
I loved it too. I thought it was chaos. I hated it in the U.S. games. We had 9 minutes of stoppage time to defend a 1-0 lead to get to the knockouts. That was awful.
I wonder if that was a thing that they changed because the broadcasters said it was running too long. There's my conspiracy. I feel like the extra time might have been a decision that was influenced by to like go back to what we have normally to broadcasters and advertising.
Maybe.
There you go, chat. There's my conspiracy theory. Thoughts? I loved having like 10 minutes of added time every game.
That's what's really deserved. I mean, when you talk about how long the ball is actually not in play, people do the math on that. You should end up somewhere between like 9 to 16 minutes of stoppage time in an average half. But you got to worry about injuries and stuff too. I think they probably lessened it because they were concerned about injuries. They're like, if we really make these guys play like 2 hours. Yeah, why are they playing the final at 4 hours earlier than they played the semifinals?
I have no idea. I guess it's to try and capture global audiences the most. Whereas the semifinals, it's kind of more, I was going to say, it's more focused on the nations actually involved.
Is that stat true? 73 straight games Griezmann's played for France. That's insane.
Phil Kessel would be proud of that run.
That's kind of crazy. What's your opinion on a stopping clock? No, come on, don't ruin the game. Do not Americanize this sport too much, because every other sport that I watch religiously is Americanized because they're American. Please do not Americanize the sport. And I also am aware that when I say please don't Americanize this sport, that everybody will get on my side when I say that, because everybody's afraid of like all-star games and stuff.
That really, All-Stars game chat did make me laugh pre-season.
It's prime time in Asia, I guess. Then why did they play these matches?
Yeah, rugby does stop a clock, to be fair. I just don't think it would work that well.
But yeah, no, I'm just not. I think the running clock is kind of the beauty. It's the flow of the game, you know. The clock is up, and that's how long you're playing.
I don't like penalties, though. I think we should make extra time.
My problem is that when you look at every other option, they're worse. It's not like penalties are a great option.
No, I've got an idea here.
Okay. All right.
So we play 30 minutes of extra time.
Right, which we do already.
And then the game continues on, and every 5 minutes, a player has to come off for each team.
Yeah, well, you got that from hockey.
Well, no, except we keep going down and down and down.
Until
it's just the goalkeepers left.
Can you imagine just 4-on-4
on a
full size pitch? It's just I mean, that was never a decent chance, but they'll take the corner.
I think it's a great idea.
I don't know. I think penalties, as imperfect as they are, the only idea I've heard that was better than that is like instead
the MLS face-offs.
The MLS face-off, but add a defender. So, like, you have a guy run in with the ball, and he has a defender in front of him and the goalkeeper in front of him, and he has, like, 15 seconds to score.
So even I think that's too far, that is. I thought my idea was sensible. That's too far.
No, I think that's the fairest way to do it because you can't like you really want an exhausted 5v5 on a full size pitch. I mean, it's like advantage N'Golo Kante. Oh my goodness, that was
Oh,
what?
back to the post!
Oh what?
Oh my god!
Oh
I thought I'd just seen Ronaldo just come out of nowhere. He's got a Morocco shirt on.
dude! I thought that
Would it
near
have
header
been
was
offside
the,
for the man in front of the keeper?
it's a freaking.
Oh
It's the center back El Yamik. Where did that come from? What a save. Oh my, he saved that. I think this was going in. It was.
Lloris hates football, so you should feel bad about that one. He's denied one of the great World Cup moments. This goes back to my original point.
I'm pretty sure he saved that.
He definitely did.
That's an incredible save. If that ball was going in, I hate this timeline.
If Lloris loved football, he lets that go in.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah, are you kidding me? A bicycle kick from Morocco's backup center back to tie the World Cup semifinal. I want that timeline. Oh, Unahi, come on now. You're not getting around. Kanate. Oh, well, he can't account for the other guy. This is the best Morocco's looked, obviously. Lloris is the reason Lloris is the reason the game's gone. Couldn't agree more. 3 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, folks. Oh my god, I'm in the football. I'm totally in the no, I'm in the sports category. Okay, somebody fixed it for me. I totally
it's the wrong section.
Yeah, I thought I was in the football manager category. I just remembered that I forgot to change it. Not important. Lloris, oh dear God.
Everything's fine.
Oh.
I tell you what, France are begging for that halftime whistle right now.
Yeah, they could use it. Honestly, considering France scored in the first 5 minutes, I think we've been treated to quite a wonderful game.
I don't like this ref. He doesn't blow the whistle fast enough.
He's got that CONCACAF. I mean, they're all chaos merchants. Every CONCACAF ref is a chaos merchant. They enable chaos.
That was not a foul, I don't think.
No, but they'll take the rest of this half.
They've had a lot of set pieces in dangerous areas here, and they've created a little bit from them.
And given the fact that they have Ziyech, I feel like they should have scored. Not in this game, but I feel like they've scored. They should have scored more of these in this tournament. Did I tell you, if Morocco does actually come back in this game, that miss by Olivier Giroud is going to become bulletin board.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good ball. Oh, that's such a good ball. Oh, that is such good goalkeeping.
No, I don't think that is a foul.
He was gone.
I gotta say, not a fan of Puma's kits at this World Cup.
Wait, Amala's saying he was. Oh, you're not getting that. You're not getting that call, dude.
It's amazing how he lost his sense of balance as soon as he felt a hand on his back.
Yeah, just sack potatoes.
Legs just stopped responding.
Oh. That's halftime.
That was. I'll tell you what, France are going to be very relieved it's half time.
That kind of surprises me. And I know this is a weird thing to say about a team that's like, you know, 135 minutes away from repeating as World Cup champions. They don't seem to be great right now.
I mean, we've just not seen either of the. Well, I was going to say we've not seen either of these. We've not seen Morocco in this situation, right? You don't really know what they're going to do. They're not really been behind in a knockout game yet.
Right. Oh, I accidentally paused the stream. My bad.
Mbappe was quiet again. I know he had 1 or 2 chances. I thought Mbappe was kind of quiet against England, but I think that's the trap you fall into when you play France. You get so preoccupied by him, you forget that like they actually have other good players.
Well, that's the issue. Is if you take him away, then you've got a guy who's worth $120 million when he's healthy on the other wing. You've got Antoine Griezmann, who's one of the best players of the generation, and then Olivier Giroud, who's France's all-time leading goal scorer. Like, you're not getting away from that. And then apparently Aurélien Tchouameni is like a huge offensive contributor in this tournament.
He's been carrying the ball really well in that half.
Yeah, he's got that like Kovacic style. I think he's probably he's better than Mateo Kovacic, but he has that Kovacic style, like really hard to knock off the ball. Runs through challenges, breaks the line, right? Everybody loves line break stats. So I've got some important news for you, Jack, and for chat in general. I've gotten an offer from Jeff. You might remember, Geoff. He donated $100 earlier today, and he donated about $600 to Amnesty International a few streams ago. And the offer from Geoff is the same as one that we've seen before, chat. I want to make sure I read this right. Geoff has gotten in touch with our moderation team, Jeff. I said your name as a joke once, and now I can't get it out of my head. And has said that he will match up to $500 worth of donations to Amnesty in the second half of this game. And what that means is that if you donate $10 to Amnesty, Jeff will match the $10 donation to Amnesty up to $500 donated over the course of the second half. So, chat, if you were ever going to donate to Amnesty International, a great human rights organization, to counteract the impact of this World Cup in any way that we can, this would be the time. I don't know, Jeff. Might be cooler than Work the Space. We're still working that out. We're trying to figure it out.
I mean, there's no might be. Anyone who has a name with a G in it is actually cooler than me.
Really? Well, my name is spelled a lot like lasagna, so there's a G in there.
G is just a cool letter, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Do we have our player of the half poll, chat? 500 for each of us? No, 500 totals. Like if you donate 20, somebody else donates 20, adding up to $500. Jeff is not about to drop like $15,000. Nor would we want Jeff to. Jeff needs to eat. But Jeff has offered to match up to $500 of donations over the course of the second half, and we thank Jeff for that. Ollie isn't here for the player poll. George, you're up. This is your moment, George. Oh, Jack.
Chat, don't let me down, because I've donated to a round number, chat. So you guys just have to donate to a nice round number too.
Jack, thank you for the $160 donation to Amnesty. You're awesome, Jack.
Thank you. No, pleasure's all mine. It's a really great charity. I used to do a lot of work with them when I was like back at school, so I know how good their work is.
We were looking for charities that we'd want to raise money for. It was definitely the one that immediately captured the imagination. I don't know why I worded it like that. Like we basically just researched charities and they were the best one. So, just, look out for people whose human rights are threatened. Gadjet. I am impressed with Morocco in this first half, but I think that in an unusual twist, the weakest part of Morocco's moves, the defense.
I don't remember a game this World Cup where they've had so much of the ball in the opposition half.
Morocco?
Yeah, genuinely. I feel like a lot of the time they've been happy to sit without the ball. In this game, they've taken the game a lot since they went a goal down.
I think France has become more passive too. France really needs to hold up a mirror and be like, why are we in this game, boys? Like, why do we need Hugo Lloris to make a couple of really good saves in order to keep us level.
That ball was moving for that first effort. I know you said it's a bit of a save for the camera, but that's still a difficult one to read around the defender.
I said it was an easy save if he got his footwork right, and he knew he got his footwork exactly right. God, Giroud. I don't know if I've ever seen a center back just get pantsed so easily.
I think he was injured because he's not even chasing back to catch. Giroud's not quick, and he's not kept up.
Giroud's a pace merchant. Yo, Lucas plays with a $100 donation. Woo! And Fight Me Cutie Pie with the $100 donation. Gary, take it away. And Sean with the $15. Dude, we just had, instead of like a bunch of smaller donations, we just had 3 people come over the top with $100. Scruzzles, thank you for the $100 donation. Matt Nerico, thank you for the $5 donation. Sean, thank you for the $15. Yo, Blocks of Ice with a $50 donation. I think I suck at math. I think we're already at Jeff's $500, which is amazing.
I thought it was Geoff.
Geoff's $500 match donation has already been reached. Again, I'm fairly certain that's 260, 365. Yeah, we've reached it. We're at $530. Dude. Thank you so much to Jeff. Thank you so much to Scruzzles, Fight Me Cutie Pie, Locust, Work the Space, whoever that is. Waffle Poros with a $50. Serve Gnome. I'm just going to keep Gary going for a while. I'm honestly really impressed watching that goal back from Teo. He did a very good job getting to that ball.
Composed, right? Like, he could have easily been sucked into the play as well.
Oh, dude, there's Jeff. Jeff just donated the $500. Legends.
That's the 10,000 hit as well, right?
That is, yeah. We've cleared $10,000 raised for Amnesty International over the course of the World Cup. We hit the goal for the knockouts. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, I'm still donating $1,000 on the final day of the World Cup. So, cheers, Jeff. Cheers. Serve Gnome, thank you. Blocks of Ice, Waffle Poros, thank you. Matt Nerico, Sean, Fight Me Cutie Pie, Locust, thank you. Scruzzles. Jack, you're awesome too. Who's your player of the first half, Jack?
I actually think the referee's done all right. Am I allowed to have the ref be my player of the match? Oh, he's not been perfect, but no one's been perfect this game. I actually think Lloris, if you were going to give it to anyone, Lloris has kept single-handedly kept the clean sheet with a few big saves. He's not had a lot to do, but
neither goalkeeper's honestly had a lot to do. Bunu hasn't done much anything since the goal, you know? I think my play, it's hard not to go with Lloris for me. Unless you want to go with like Unahi or Chouameni for individual moments, like 1 or 2 individual moments apiece.
Who was the bloke who tried to do the overhead kick? Give it him.
El Yamik.
Just for trying,
Give it to El Yamik. Yeah, on the billion people watching the game and you go for that. It's bold. It's bold. Definitely bold. Zeron, thanks for the $5. Cap, thank you for the $55. That's more air horn.
I think Cap donated there to get to a nice round number, and then Zeron came with the $5 just before.
That's unlucky. Unlucky.
This is like watching the total amount raised. It's like, TV volumes. Like for me, the TV volume has to be on an even number.
Really? I don't even know what volume my TV is on ever.
Some people like to have it on a multiple of 5. Chat, please back me up here and prove I'm not being crazy. Like,
you're being crazy.
There's certain rules around your TV volume, and everyone has their own limits.
I don't even look at the number, chat. I adjust it until I can hear it. I feel like that, that's what you should do. Hey, Olmach with the $50. Gary, how do we feel? Chopstick. It's very cold in New York. I heard it's very cold over there, too. A multiple of 5? Oh, we've got a lot of multiple of 5 people. Dan Kim, thank you for the 25. For Amnesty International, yeah.
Chat, you guys are popping off.
Chat is popping off. And I think it's a good time to mention these are tax exemptions depending on what country you're in. So not only are you being a great person, but taxes. I pay taxes. I'd be lying to you if I said I understood them.
Does anyone understand them? That's why accountants exist.
Yeah, well.
No normal person should understand it. I feel like they deliberately make it complicated.
Barrett, applause, taxes. What's your final score for today's match? Give me your guess, and also keep up the good work. Love your content. Jared, thank you. My guess in the other semifinal was 2-0 Argentina, and it ended up being 3-0, but we got the general vibe of the game right. I think we're actually due for a goal from each team. I think this is going to be 2-1 France.
What do I think? Is it boring if I just say I think it'll stay 1-0?
You really don't think another goal's coming in this game?
People are going to hate this. I think 3-0 France. I just think the game's going to open up a little bit. I think that period before halftime was, you know, and the fact they made it through, I think that was big for France. I just think now they're going to come out in the second half. They've got the experience in this kind of situation. I think they just see it out and catch out Morocco a couple of times going on the attack.
So they said, I'm Croatian. What do you think of the Croatian game? I hope that's not the case. I totally could see that world that you're talking about. I
don't want it to happen. Just
no.
I want that known.
Buenos Aires, Argentina. They're showing like the downtown square. That stuff's crazy. But sorry, the Croatian team, I thought they were just second best yesterday. I think it was like a very clear first and second. I think Argentina played the best game of the tournament. I think that in order to beat Croatia, you needed to just take your chances, and I think Argentina took its chances. I think this Croatian team was not as good as the one 4 years ago. Analytically, they weren't as good as the one 4 years ago. I'm not just talking about SG. I'm talking about their control of the game was not as good as it was 4 years ago. So I think that it was very unlikely they were going to win the whole tournament. But in order to win that game, Argentina had to play, they had to play in the upper level of what they were capable of and actually take their chances, and they did. So that was it. Jack agrees with me 100%, by the way.
What do I agree with you on? I zoned out for half a second and now.
That neither Ronaldo or Messi is the GOAT, and you actually think it's
Christian Pulisic.
Pele.
Christian Pulisic.
It's a Pele,
I think Messi's the GOAT. I think there was maybe a tentative argument going into this. Even then, I would have sold on Messi. I think if he wins it, I don't think he has to win it to be the GOAT. It's tricky, though, because it's like, I hate the idea that there has to be a GOAT. I feel like that's something that didn't really exist a few years ago.
It's just a debate that everybody loves having. And I think places like Twitter just amplify that debate, There's big Ronaldo stands that are having existential crises because Messi's doing so well, and I feel like we're missing the point of fandom. Like, you should just be able to watch Messi right now and just enjoy, right? He just looks like the special player that he is right now.
I think it's a thing in the social media age as well. People just everything has to be a competition. Every player has to be compared to one another. And there has to be a debate about that. And there's so many other things you can discuss when it comes to football, but it's like the low-hanging fruit of discussions.
I think that comparing somebody like Messi to Pele is the most useless conversation you could possibly have. I know people are going to continue to do it, but like Pele played in such a different era where like the measurements of success were completely different, right? Like Pele never even played in Europe, right? The only time he played in Europe was when he was at the World Cups that were being held in Europe. Like, I mean, the metrics for how you measured success back then, like there is no club career for us to look at and draw like for like comparison with Messi. And even if he'd gone into Europe, there wasn't a Champions League. There was that weird Champions of Champions Cup thing they had going on. So I think it's really pointless to have those debates. I think if you have Ronaldo and Messi, I think that's a reasonable debate to have. But I am tentative to like end the debate with this World Cup because Ronaldo's older. He's 2 years older. 2 years from now, Messi's probably not going to be nearly as good as he is right now. He's going to be at Inter Miami or something. And Ronaldo 2 years ago was like the top goal scorer in Serie A. So I struggle to announce that this is the end of the debate, but I've always gone with Messi as the best player.
I feel like the thing with the Pele thing in his numbers is almost like Gretzky, where it's like it was such a different sport when they were playing, and the numbers they were putting in were so unfounded, and the individual brilliance of them, like it's like they were a generation or two ahead of everyone else. But it also means it's like, how do you contextualize what they achieved? Because what they achieved and when they achieved it is so different to the sport as they are now.
An important thing with all these conversations, I've always thought they were important. The second half is underway here. Let me get the clock up for you guys. The important thing for these conversations is always talk to people that played in that era. Like, how did you think about going up against, Pele, basically, or people that watched that era? What was it like? Like, how did they look in relation to the other players? So, yeah, I think I have no issue with naming a best player in every era. Like, for these 10 years, Pele was the best player on the planet. And I think if you can say something like that, that says all you need to know. Like, everybody on the planet, or the vast majority of people on the planet would love to be the best soccer player in the world, the best footballer in the world, and only one guy is. So that hasn't changed from then to now. Change for Morocco again? Oh, shoot. Oh, they brought in Yahya. Dude, it's the injuries that are killing them. They subbed out Nizar Mazraoui.
Oh, this is bad.
Oh, boy. Amrabat in the dust. Oh, but the ball was terrible. Oh, hit it! Oh, that was Koundé's own Pavard moment right there. He's like, I'm the new right back.
Flash before his eyes. It's mad, right? I saw someone in chat mention about like how Ronaldo's 37 and obviously like Messi's 35 as well. Like neither are spring chickens. Then like your players like Giroud are 36. Like it's weird how even though football's got more and more physical, it feels like there are
older players that
can just like, I don't know. They just seem to be immune to the passage of time.
I think it's the science. I mean, these people are spending, like freaking Ronaldo's probably spending $5 to $10 million a year just taking care of his body, like cryogenic chambers, personal trainers, personal chef. Like the amount of money they can spend to take care of their body, they're not going to call that. That was actually a weirdly bad ball by Griezmann. Oh, goodness, if Bono's out too. Mazraoui had to come out, Saiz had to come out. Igerd didn't start the game, so their whole back line is just emaciated.
That ball there is so good, perfectly behind the centre back. Just a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, if he puts that in Mbappe's feet, this is a goal. Oh, he does take a cleat right to the knee there.
That's above the shin pad.
Yeah. Who would have thought in 2022 there'd be two African nations in the semifinals of a World Cup? Ha ha! God, it took us 47 minutes to get the worst joke of all time. France has 3 players that weren't born in France in its team, so I never really understood the joke to begin with. I think Jose Mourinho does this a lot. He like fans the flames of like, oh, these guys should play for like African countries like Kylian Mbappe. You're really gonna like Kylian Mbappe was born and raised in freaking France. Like you're gonna tell somebody like, yeah, you can't. Sorry, man, you can't play for the French national team. It's the stupidest take of all time.
There's a debate going on in England at the moment around, does the England national team manager or any national team manager have to be of the nation of the team? Because there is historically at World Cups, there's not many managers.
Every team that's ever won the World Cup has had a manager from their country, which is just like
I wanted to say that,
stat.
but I wasn't 100% sure, so I knew if I just said it as a fact,
it is
chat
a fact,
would go whoa, because there's.
I don't think I really don't think it matters, though. I think that is a fact because the vast majority of national teams do just have managers from their own country. But
I think we bring back Sven. I saw he was on Cameo, so if anyone in chat from England wants Sven Göran Eriksson's kind of Cameo link, I can find it for you.
I gotta be honest, I didn't hear a word you said.
I was talking about former England manager. Oh,
Hakimi.
No way. This Mbappe bloke's good, isn't he? He's got 3 players swarming around him, and he just does.
Good gracious, dude! Oh my god!
It's like that goal that Bale scored.
Oh, what is that Flopposaurus Rex, bro? I need to see a replay on that because Killian's really acting like he's hurt here, but I thought that was a squeaky clean tackle.
That run was like Gareth Bale's in El Clasico.
That was,
time.
Yeah. He just went, you know
down
what?
The line.
I'm faster than you.
That was mate.
3
players just pinning him.
I don't know about
that. He did catch him.
He did kind of catch him, but I mean, Stu Holden, the analyst, is saying he cleaned him out. His trailing foot makes contact with Mbappe's ankle. I don't think that this is a nasty foul, though.
I'm going to be honest. I think that's one of those ones where it's not a foul, but it's not a flop. Hot take. It's a contact sport. You can have contact and it's neither.
Thank you. We needed that. Get used to the CONCACAF ref. I mean, one thing about a CONCACAF ref is he's not going to be intimidated by aggressive sliding challenges. He's not just going to call them all fouls.
I don't feel like I've ever heard people talk about CONCACAF officiating, ever described it as CONCACAF officiating in a positive light.
No. Well, it's because CONCACAF is, by any definition, a footballing backwater. And it's also a part of the world that's known for bad pitches, violent stadium atmospheres. You go play at Azteca, they're throwing cups full of urine at you. We played in El Salvador and we were playing in an actual mud field, riot police in the corners of the stadium. It's just a different planet from the pristine pitches and that you get in a lot of European. I don't think there's too much variety relatively in European qualifying compared to Africa, CONCACAF, and Asia, which the 3 kind of more backwater footballing continents.
Morocco come in a lot of men to the attack.
Whoa! Oh, hit it!
Oh, that's a chance. Look how many men they've got forward there.
They are. I mean, they're going for it. They've got their plan.
I'm surprised they're going so soon, but
that guy that just had that chance in the box was the left back. Oh, great pass!
Oh, that's a great ball.
Atiadola! Oh,
he's done so well to just get his head up there and put it in that area as well.
Oh, Sofiane. That left back literally plays in the Moroccan league.
Is that the guy who's come on for Mazraoui?
Yes. Yahya Atiadola.
He looks so composed there. He just takes a moment and he actually gets his head up and looks.
Yeah, he looks really good. That's excellent defending by Konate.
France look a little bit overwhelmed.
I think they're kind of resting on their laurels too much right now. There isn't enough urgency. Until Morocco scores, I feel like France isn't going to fully get back to attacking. I don't know.
I think it is just part of their game management. It's the same they did against England in some ways. I think they look more. It's weird actually. I think Morocco from open play have looked more dangerous against France's defense than England.
I would agree with that. So I'm more behind than usual. Well, I mean, we haven't really buffered in a significant way since we started the game, so I think we will just stay where we are. Honestly, the farther behind I am, the easier it is, I think, for some people to sync up, depending on what you're watching on.
I noticed a trend in the knockouts. There's a lot more subs just stood on the sideline shouting at the ref.
Yeah, I noticed the benches a lot more.
It's like basketball almost, where it feels like they're just like so close to Mitch, they just constantly just stood up like on the line just shouting.
I mean, I think Uruguay started that trend at the end of the knockout or the end of the group stage, where they're just like hunting the ref, like at halftime.
They murdered the VAR machine.
Yeah, Cavani mercilessly assaulting the VAR machine on his walk off the pitch.
Oh, in fact, we describe it as the VAR machine. It's just a monitor, but VAR machine sounds more
the
imposing,
VAR
doesn't
machine. The source of all our troubles and woes, the VAR machine. I feel like Morocco's shooting its golden bullet. Like 10 minutes from now, they're going to be too tired to do anything.
There is a risk, isn't there? If they don't get that breakthrough, they just end up running themselves into the ground here.
Yeah, because they're flying around right now. This is really lovely stuff from Morocco. Unahi. Oh!
Oh! It's mad that Griezmann's back there, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, they've got France all the way back. They're doing Morocco proud. They're doing Africa proud. They're doing the Arab world proud. They're doing it all right now. Oh, wow. His shoe exploded.
I wonder what it's like when you're like a manufacturer of equipment. He just get defected like on the main stage, like when hockey sticks snap. It's not like the best endorsement for your product.
Yeah, he actually really does need a new shoe. Do you think Didier Deschamps a good manager?
I don't think you're a bad manager if you
do
what
fair.
he's done.
Would you put him in the top level of managers in the world? Which most guys that have accomplished what he's accomplished in the last 6 years, you would.
I probably would. It's weird though, right? Because I feel like the skill set of a national team manager and a club manager is so radically different. And the way in which you just, because when you're a national team manager,
Chat's saying they don't think he's a good manager, or that they wouldn't put him on that level.
I think Chat's crazy. I just feel like there is.
I don't know. I feel like the manager of the Spanish teams, Del Bosque. I would have put him on the list of best managers in the world. Shoot. I feel like that some of those really like. I think Jürgen Löw for a long time was on that list when you looked at best managers in the world.
I think it depends, like what, because I feel like how you judge a national team manager versus how you judge a club manager are so different. Like
how so?
Well, I just feel like when you're, at least in the games that people really care about and judge you for, when you're, say, France manager, it's all about knockout football and just winning by any means necessary. And sometimes that means you're not going for big blowouts in games like this, where maybe people would look on paper and say, oh, you should be going for blowouts. Like, the way in which France managed the England game, I thought was pretty impressive. And also, when you've got a team full of as many personalities and egos as this France team, like that's almost a battle in itself, keeping people happy. Like, you got to remember, last World Cup, Rabiot was asked to go on the reserve list and then flat out refused to be on it and refused to be part of the World Cup squad. And he's like, that relationship has been rebuilt there. and he's been starting regularly before he got injured ahead of this game.
Oh. Come on, Buffal. Do something crazy. I know you've got it in the bag. Oh. Oh, here we go.
He's got to watch the line. He's off.
He's definitely off, but they're going to make everybody run a mile. He's not putting the flag up. Oh. Dude, I hate I get it. It just bothers me. The slow flag. I get that you want to let it play out in case you're wrong, but
France's midfield are not bothered about joining the attack at this point.
no, well, they don't need to be.
I might be about to say something mental here.
Oh boy.
I think he should take off Mbappe. Because I feel like Mbappe is such a liability defensively here. Like,
I think you should take I think you should take off Giroud. And then just
I know that
Mbappe
Mbappe's really good for on the break, but I feel like the way in which Morocco are building up in the wide area, because the way that France plays, they'll leave Giroud and Mbappe up most of the time. Griezmann drops in on the right, and then the whole midfield shuffles to the left. But with the overloads that Morocco having, so you think about where the fouls have been for Morocco in the end of the first half, where all those free kicks were, and where all the build-up plays been. It's been on that Mbappe.
Yeah,
it's behind Mbappe. It's on that side. Maybe you take off Giroud and move Mbappe into the middle. But I feel like you're just lacking a little bit of balance at the moment to the defense.
Actually, somebody raised a very good point that I totally forgot about. Is Deschamps was the coach of that Monaco team that made the Champions League final as well. That's how he got the job.
I think it's really easy to discredit national team managers because, they have a good team. But like we've seen this World Cup especially, some of the best teams just, they don't turn up at the World Cup.
Look at who Morocco's knocked out. Belgium, Spain, Portugal. I think all those teams would love to be here right now.
I think he'll move Mbappe in the middle and maybe take off.
That's what I would do.
Dembele or Giroud. But I do think it's the Mbappe side, which I think is the.
You are right. Yeah, I think you should bring in.
You can see how deep they're sitting here now.
They're getting kind of controlled right now.
I do love the fluidity of their defense.
Bring in Guendouzi right now, I swear. Matteo Guendouzi. Right now.
He's just very energetic, isn't he? He's a buzzy player. He's like a bee. He'll just run around and do defensive work.
The run. Somebody roll the dice, please.
I really thought the second half was going to play out differently. I really thought France had weathered the storm, and I thought Morocco were going to struggle, but Morocco are in even more control.
Yeah, they're dominating this second half against France with two backup center backs in the field and a backup left back who plays in the Moroccan league.
Griezmann's basically playing centre mid when they don't have the ball. Like, he'll play off Giroud normally, but look how deep he is there.
Nice ball. They're playing a 4-4-2 defensively. I mean, it's Mbappe and Giroud just up there.
It's weird how they transition between those two shapes.
Oh, nice. Ashraf Dari actually might have had that straightforward anyways. Oh, this is... There's just the danger that Morocco's spirit could be broken by one moment like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a danger they have to live with, but France is just so freaking capable of just wind sprinting to a goal.
For all the chances they've had and the possession they've had in the second half, they're not really have that many clear-cut kind of shooting chances. Like, you think the overhead kick and the shot from range, there's not been a lot more for Lloris to do.
How is Ziyech over here? He's just
He's
wandering all over the field.
It's good in freedom.
Oh, Buffal.
I think France have started overloading that left side when they're defending a bit more.
So they're just trying to overload the left. Well, now they're going to the French right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bringing in Thuram instead of for Giroud.
Oh, tell you what.
I was right. They bring off Giroud.
Yeah, Mbappe through the middle.
All right, chat. There's your substitute, Marcos Thuram. First sub for Vive la France.
You know what? Always rate the jumps.
Yeah.
Just 'cause he's done exactly what I thought they might need to change.
That was a weird call. I thought that was definitely a corner. I hope Thuram doesn't score so Newcastle can buy him cheaper. Love the energy yeah.
It's a bit of a shame, really. It's one of the downsides of the Winter World Cup is the fact that the seasons kind of just continue immediately. I always enjoy when a World Cup ends and there's like 3 weeks of speculation on all the breakout players and which teams they're going to go to.
All right, Buffal and Naziri are coming off. They're bringing on one of my favorite names in the tournament, Zakaria Abouklal.
Rolls off the tongue.
It does. And they're also bringing in a guy who we haven't seen, I think, since like the first match, Abdurazak Hamdallah.
I'm afraid
another one that rolls right off the tongue.
I'm afraid to say I can't offer much in the way of insight on either of those players for the viewers. So apologies.
Abouklal has played in like every game in this tournament. They clearly love him and bring him in all the time. Abdurazak Hamdallah is come in to play striker because they were going with this guy named Walid Shadira their last 2 matches, and Walid Shadira, I've described him as an NPC. Oi!
Ooh.
Dude, my boy Abouklal nearly just stole the whole show. But Walid Shadira had about 8 1v1s essentially against Portugal and Spain, and it wasn't 8, but it was close. And then he they've decided not to go with him this time. That's fine. This coach is great, though. How do you take over a job 4 months ago and turn it into this?
In-game editor. He's got it
In-game editor, yes. So somebody just said Abouklal plays for Toulouse in the French league. Which explains why they like Abouklal. Well, Thuram, okay.
Great city to lose.
And that is just such a straightforward foul from Hakimi. I don't get the point. Another guy that would have figured he was never going to be on the field at a World Cup for France, Marcus Thuram.
Yeah, he's played okay, I feel like.
He has. He's been fine.
And
he's an active guy. I mean, he's only on the team because of the injuries. He wasn't in the initial roster.
I just expect Griezmann to always hit a ball of quality.
Oh. And it was. Definitely. Oh, shoot, Koundé. Shoot, Koundé. Oh, that was so good. Is he off? What a block. What a block. Who was
massive.
That?
It was off.
That was a nuts block.
My concern for Morocco here is, firstly, I'm a bit worried that they've tried so hard to get into this game without a breakthrough, and now they're starting to tire.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just. I feel like France is just going to up the advantage and score in a second. I think they've had that window of opportunity's gone. It was like a period where they were just in.
France do feel like they're about to score now. Because Morocco you can't run and play at that intensity for the full half. Like, and they
they're so
exploded
I feel
out.
like they're already so attacking. It's just like,
oh,
what can they
jeez.
change?
That was an atrocious call. Oh, here goes Thuram. And that, okay. What?
I was watching. Are we watching the NFL? Have you hit the control, the remote control button there? Like,
I mean, even try. I mean, normally you see a guy do you the courtesy of sliding here. Actually, on the replay, Thuram goes down pretty easily there. That did just look so funny from the point of view that we had.
It just looked like he knew he wasn't getting to the ball. It's like Sunday League football when there's a younger player than you who's fresher. I'm just going to take him out.
Yeah, no. Well, he just kind of he wanted to go shoulder to shoulder with him, and Thuram just went down. And he kind of ran into him lazily, or very, like he was losing the foot race, because he was. Gain of 12 at a first down. That's good. I mean, you always like to run the ball on first down, really establish the run, get yourself into second and manageable. And I feel like that's what France is accomplishing here with Marcus Thuram. Oh, what a ball. Oh.
Griezmann, like, against England, his deliveries are unbelievable. He's had a few immense ones from set pieces here.
That was pretty. He's just Griezmann's like that itch you can't scratch, Where, like, if you're playing again, he's just so technically proficient. He's just always doing things that annoy you. He puts the ball in the perfect spot, pops up where you don't want him to be. You can physically overwhelm him pretty easily, but it doesn't matter. And how about his transition from being like the feature number 9 for France to being this like number 10 facilitating maestro?
That's the thing, right? I feel like it's almost a disservice just to describe him as a number 10 because of the discipline he shows defensively.
Well, and the fact that he was France's line-leading center forward at the last World Cup. Like, that was what he did. He was their primary goal threat. He scored the goals. He put the penalties away. He, led the team in goals on the way to the World Cup title. Freaking scored in the final.
By the way, 19 shots between the two teams, 3 on target.
Hey. They better credit that as a save to Lloris, because on that bicycle kick, if they don't, I'd be furious if I was Lloris. But I'm not. I'm furious at Lloris for saving it. If Messi wants to play in the next World Cup, I think hasn't he already said this is his last one? I thought he said that.
I mean, Tom Brady said he was retiring at the end of last season.
For the sake of his marriage.
Sports people don't know how to call it quits.
And I don't think Argentina would ever not call up Messi if he doesn't want to be called up.
It's one of those things where it's like, is Messi of the same mindset of Ronaldo, where it's like almost too proud to acknowledge they're on the decline? I feel like maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm a Messi fanboy. I feel like Messi is a bit more self-aware of that. I could see him going in like a kind of Dani Alves role this year, where he kind of goes to be...
Maybe, yeah. Are they willing to accept that? Because we already know Messi doesn't like to be subbed off. Ooh. Ooh-yo. Well,
doesn't have to be subbed off if he's never subbed on, Taphead.
Goodness gracious, Yusuf Fofana. And now he's a midfielder, and he's all the way up there, and Morocco's headed the other direction.
I just think if you win the World Cup as Messi, you probably feel like...
That's it. Done. Don't come back. Yeah. That's the golden goose right there.
You just achieved everything then, like completed it.
Oh. Oh, what the heck was that tackle? It'd be great to see Messi playing the Libertadores. I mean, I totally respect those guys that go back and they play for like the club they grew up at. But Messi really grew up at Barcelona. I mean, man left Argentina when he was like 12 years old. I think the ref did leave his cards in the locker room and he's just playing it off. Haven't even seen a yellow in the second half.
Yeah, that is actually wild.
So Morocco has made... Yeah, this would be the last change for Morocco. The sub they're sizing up right now.
It's weird, though. Like, as much as this game has had a few fouls in it, it's not the kind of game where it's ever felt like bubbling over because the ref didn't kind of draw a line anywhere. You know, there's some games where you needed to give a yellow card sooner. And the game was gone from that point onwards. I don't feel like that... Oh, my word, what is he doing?
Ooh!
No way. Go right.
Abderrazak!
No way!
Oh... Pass the ball, brother.
Oh, it's a great tackle.
Oh, it was freaking Antoine Griezmann, dude. Yeah, what is that? I'll show many. You just got to pass the ball to the near side and all the pressure's gone. There you go. Yeah, the problem now is that Morocco subbed out Boufal and they've subbed out in Naziri, which they've been doing the whole tournament. But those two guys had the confidence and they knew they could do something. Where I don't know if my boy Abderrazak Hamdallah actually has the composure to handle. Like, that was his chance in the box, and I don't think he really...
He just didn't make a decision, did he?
No. And that's what I mean. You need to have the confidence and the decisiveness that comes from it to be able to do something here.
We are entering that territory, though, now where I feel like... I mean, Morocco already looked pretty exhausted. Like, the tempo has dropped.
Yeah. Oh, he should have shot. That was his shot.
Barring a France mistake like that one there.
Oh, that was his shot, dude. He had a window from like 19 yards. You just hit it. You just hit it.
I know there'll be some people who watch this France performance and are frustrated to not see them kind of some of the best players at the World Cup just given creative freedom, but it's immense how good they've been defensively. As much as Morocco have had chance of being on top, they've not had a shot on target in this second half. And France know that they don't need to go forward.
I swear I hear these ghost whistles from the crowd all the time.
Yeah, I heard one there as well.
I was like, foul on what? Abderrazak Hamdallah. Hamdallah! Oh. I would love if he scored a banger, though. That is a great name to yell. On like a long shot.
He was step-overing there like he had 20 flair.
He's just spamming the button. Oh, wait. The change is Salim Amala, the guy that came in the 21st minute. Abde Atsotsui.
I don't think I misread that. I think his pass completion was 68%.
Whose was?
The guy just went off. I feel like so much of Morocco's joys come in the wide areas.
Why is France substituting at the same time that Morocco is? Why not waste more time? It's a weird call there. It's a bad move in general. I want Messi to win the whole thing. I think if it's France and Argentina, I'm definitely hoping Messi gets his, because out of Messi and Ronaldo, one of them deserves a freaking World Cup.
Muani's coming in.
Randall Kolo Muani. For freaking Dembele. Is it M-U-A-N-I? There you go. Randall Kolo Muani. We ride. Yusuf Fofana, the mystery man.
Oh, so good.
That was slick. Taram. Oh. Oh.
No.
Oh, it's open. That's it.
Listen.
Game over.
It's his first touch.
It's Kolo Muani.
It's not his first touch, chat.
Just prances into the ball and finishes it off.
He just rolls up. It's just like, no one's there.
Oh, man. Literally his first touch of the ball, like that is.
And Mbappe's movement there was so good to dance through the defense. I know people, it's a lucky bounce, but he's made that, like, you make that look.
I'll go ahead and stay it. I thought that run was very Messi-esque, the way he cut. Like, the pass wasn't, but that run was. I mean, that was in such a tight window. I almost get annoyed as much as people talk about Mbappe's pace because, like, that turn
there was
and then
so
this.
good.
Once he gets it back from Thuram right here.
They're so scared he's going to pull the trigger there, and he just dances inside, pulls 3 of them in.
I mean, he's made both of these goals by just distracting 5 defenders and then shooting, and the ball bounces to a wide open guy on France. That's how both of the goals have been scored, is Mbappe just getting a shot off amongst the entire country of Morocco. Colin Mawani. You can't believe his luck, really.
Is that his first touch?
It is definitely his first touch. He's been on the field for seconds. Is that 79th minute? What do you say?
Yeah, we'll go with it.
What a dreamland for Kolo Muani.
We've got Morocco v Croatia to look forward to on Saturday.
Rest in peace to Morocco, the best African team ever.
I mean, they could still come back. The Netherlands did it.
Yeah, the Netherlands did it. And honestly, Morocco's played well enough where if they can actually create some chances with all of their game control, then you'd be like, yeah, sure.
Make noises whenever the ball gets the box.
Argentina's sad right now. Yeah, that's true. But I think Argentina had to expect they were going to end up against France here because, I mean, I said it to my brother. We were walking to get burritos for lunch today. And I was like, look, I think the Moroccan dream dies today. They haven't played an offense like France's. They haven't played a player like Mbappe. And I think that could be the big problem. If they're missing 3 of their 4 starting defenders, I think it's a Category 5 storm headed towards them. And that's what happened.
France v Argentina should be a banger.
Oh, it will be. Mbappe, I was not kidding. I tweeted this earlier in the World Cup. I think he could be the best international player of all time. Like, when his career is done. Who do I want to win?
Who do you want to win the final? And who do you think will win? I realize they could be slightly different answers.
I would want Messi to win. I feel like the storyline of Messi riding off into the sunset with a World Cup winner's medal after being so long looked at as like this international choke. He's won the Copa America finally, but now to be able to go and win the World Cup too, that'd be awesome for him. And I do think he's generally a nice guy. I mean, like, he was a grade A trash talker in that Dutch game, but generally speaking. But France going back to back, I don't really like Mbappe. I think
I don't like him after he laughed at Harry Kane. Justice for Harry. I'm fine.
No, I've said this about Mbappe. I mean, I literally just called his assist there Messi-esque, right? I think he's gonna be one of those just transcendent players in this generation. I think he's got a chance to be the best international player of all time. I mean, he's gonna break the goal scoring record in the World Cup. I'd be shocked if he didn't. He already has like 10 goals. He's 6 away from the record, and the dude, he's like 24 years old.
It's that weird thing as well where people will always, like, whenever you have the GOAT chat, people will bring up Pele's World Cups, and I'd quite like there to be a player that does exactly that in the modern era. And I think
Mbappe could end up with like he could, especially if he wins this one. I think he could totally end up with 3 World Cups in his career, because it is reasonable to assume he has 3 World Cups left after this. If you project out like same career length as a Messi, for example, with the way these guys take care of their body. He has 9, he needs 7, fair. But you assume those 3 more World Cups.
Tuesday. Yeah. I didn't know that off the top of my head. I just checked it. So, a good birthday present for Mbappe, you know? I guess the other thing to consider is it's only 3.5 years to the next World Cup. What is going on here?
I think if Mbappe breaks the goal scoring record and wins 3 World Cups, I think the Pele debate is officially over. Because to do that in the modern era, nuts.
I want to know how many interceptions and tackles Griezmann's put in today.
Because it is way higher than you would expect.
It's mad.
Oh. Said the same thing about Thomas Muller. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that France isn't going to get grouped at the next 2 World Cups, basically. But you're right. Thomas Muller, after his first 2 World Cups, had 10 World Cup goals and a World Cup title. So you could have looked at him with the same. But Mbappe is also different. Thomas Muller is an off-ball poacher, and Kylian Mbappe is a primary creator. He's a focal point. Thomas Muller's rarely a focal point and often the amplifier of other playmakers.
He's the converter, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I always call those guys like amplifiers because I don't want to say he doesn't facilitate, but he needs to be around guys that can, and then he can amplify it with his movement and his ability to take chances. You know, oh, this is Ziyech is open.
Bit of time.
A little something. Oh, now. Thuram's fired up. Heck of a B-Day present, winning the World Cup right before your birthday.
It's a pretty good list of defending champions to reach finals. Italy in 38, Brazil 62, Argentina 90, and Brazil 98. Although when Italy did it, it was very, very shady. So whether or not you value that achievement.
Wait, really? Back in 38? What happened? I don't know the T 100 years ago.
Well, it was when they were a fascist state.
Oh, were they hosting?
And they half their players were like born in Argentina. Like one of the players who played for Argentina in the previous World Cup final was playing for the Italian squad. It was very there's like very dodgy stuff was actually
like that.
Because it was a Wild West era as well.
Yeah, that World Cup has a relation to this World Cup because that World Cup was the last time that the host nation was making their debut at the World Cup, and it was Italy.
I think I don't know if they even automatically qualified. It might have been the one after. There was one where they had to play Greece in a qualifier, and allegedly Greece were bribed. So, yeah, I don't know how highly you can rate the Italian 1930s World Cup achievements compared to the rest of the teams in that list.
There was Italy in 34. Was that the one they hosted? I don't know. I mean, it was very open and unregulated back then, so.
Yeah.
Not that it's improved too much today.
Someone's asked a great question in chat. Pre-game, you said these are the kind of games you're going to remember forever. Will you remember this game forever?
I will remember this Morocco team forever. I don't know if this is the type of game I'll remember forever. All you'll remember about this game is Mbappe.
Laurie saving the overhead kick, ruining the game.
No, I'm going to forget that eventually. You remember the way it made you feel, and I felt like Morocco played better than I expected, but France still just took the, France still just got the goals.
As soon as they went a goal down, right, I feel like 95% of people watching just like, well, that's game over. But actually...
Yeah, I think if people just look at a box score of this game, they'll be like, oh, it was fine. I didn't watch it. Pretty straightforward. It was not straightforward. This was a winding road that brought France home, but it has brought France home. And I think that based off this result, we can settle on we have the 2 best teams at this World Cup. It's France and Argentina. Very little question about that for me, honestly.
I think pre-World Cup, before Brazil already start putting in a shift.
I'm starting to look like a genius. I had Brazil number 1, France 2, and Argentina 3. So 2 of my top 3 teams are in the final.
I got laughed out on my stream after Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia because I said they'd make the final.
I held firm too. I was like, I still think they're getting out of the group, and they
holding on to the stocks. You got to ride the dip.
I rode the dip. I rode the dip on Argentina, and now we're looking okay. But
I am, for my own ego, secretly hoping that France score a third goal here on the break because I said it would be 3-0.
Yeah, well, the good thing, if Argentina wins this tournament, then there will be no teams that didn't lose a game at the World Cup, which is fun. The last time that happened was 2010, except there was a team that didn't lose at that World Cup.
Was that New Zealand in the group?
New Zealand.
Yes.
Was that in the groups? They drew all 3 games. See, I know my trivia. I'll take that.
There was one unbeaten team at the 2010 World Cup, and it was New Zealand. Drew all 3 games. Spain lost their opener and then won the tournament. That was not off. Both have lost. France. Oh, yeah, true. France lost to Tunisia. What was that, by the way? Cameroon beating Brazil, Tunisia beating France, and South Korea beating Portugal. That was the weirdest final round of matches at any World Cup.
That is just teams who are checked out. It's just like, we'll give everyone minutes. Keep everyone happy.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because you're totally right. That was just a
that game
fever
went under the
dream.
radar. What was the other game going on at the same time? The game going on at the same time as that France game was a mad one, I feel like.
Oh, it was because it was Australia beating Denmark, and that is what knocked Tunisia
And that was the
out.
one that really mattered. Well,
Yeah.
I say it really mattered. No one expected Tunisia to get that late goal.
Yeah, but
So as a
it's
result, no one was watching that game.
like if Denmark and the crying, don't give me the crying kids. I can't emotionally handle the crying kids. But no, Tunisia beating France was immaterial because Denmark and Australia weren't drawing. If they drew and Tunisia won, they would have gone to the next round. So that goal could have been super hype, but Australia won by a goal, so it didn't matter. Oh, and Japan beating Spain. Like, seriously, more than half.
And the win against Germany was
5 of the
too.
8 pot 1 teams lost on the final match day of their group. That has to be the highest number ever.
How many of them were already through?
Yeah, well, France, Brazil, Qatar was not, but they're gratuitously known as a pot 1 team. France, Brazil, where Portugal was. Spain was not guaranteed through. They just lost anyways. Oh, shut up. God, Killian.
Please score for my prediction. Maybe look
but the
smart, Killian.
problem for him is Hakimi is also insanely fast. Good luck.
They strike me as 2 players who, when you're a little kid in like elementary school and you'd like have races across the playground so you can run the fastest. They strike me as the kind of players who at PSG just race each other everywhere. Oh, that was so good by Mbappe.
Just undid one of this World Cup's heroes, Sufyan Amrabat. Well, this is a shame.
A poll in the chat a poll in the chat mods. Can we get a poll in the chat? English is hard. I want to know how many people watching will watch the 3rd place game now that we know it's Croatia v Morocco. Because we were discussing a bit.
Oh, come on. Let's dream for a second here. Let's dream
Even
for a
goal
second.
would be sick.
We could do that poll. I endorse that poll. Are you going to watch the 3rd place game? I have never watched it.
I probably will because I want to see more of this Morocco team.
Really? Yeah, I could understand that. Oh, Amrabat. That wasn't a good ball. Hit it, Unahi. Unahi can shoot. Oh.
There's a few France players who still want another goal.
The poll is up. Will you watch the 3rd place game?
What's he doing, Bono?
Up there. Please vote in the poll. This is very scientific, very important. Are you going to watch the 3rd place game? Morocco needs to score now or this game is over. Oh my goodness, Essel Sui. Essel Sui. Oh, come on! Come on! What?
How did that not cross the line?
goal?
It would be the greatest jinx ever, wouldn't it, if they'd won after I'm like, so you're going to watch Morocco v Croatia? Oh my word.
Go in the freaking goal, man.
How have they not scored?
They deserve a goal. I don't think. I mean, France probably deserves the win, but they deserve a goal. Oh! Hit it!
Bangers only.
He called the dude, just going for the absolute circus shot there, and he looked good doing it.
He looked like he knew what he was doing.
Dude, Abdi Etzel Sui just taking Jules Koundé to the cleaners here, and then of course, oh, it's Jules that gets in the way.
The fact he's kicked out and it's like
my
been stopped
goodness.
dead there. He could have easily just hit him and got in there off Koundé.
That's so unlucky. What are they applauding? Are they just applauding their team's effort? I mean, the deepest run of any African or Arab team ever. No Arab team had ever even got past the round of 16. So this is such no North African team had gotten past the round of 16. It's a tremendous achievement.
It's weird. I don't remember Bono making a save.
No, that's the funny thing is France has scored 2 goals that I don't think you can blame Yassine Bounou for, but he really hasn't had much else to do. I mean, honestly, both goalkeepers. I mean, what does Lloris have? 2 saves? 3 saves, maybe?
3, maybe.
But, like, his 2 saves are super memorable as those heart-stopping moments. And then, well, Jules Koundé has a save.
He just slipped over and grabbed the ball. I rate that.
That's such a stupid-looking play from Amrabat. I don't know what that was. So, 61% of the chat said they will be watching the third place game.
That's higher than well, it's both lower and higher than I expected, which I know makes absolutely no sense, but like...
That's it. It's over. Vive la France and allez les bleus! The French are going to back-to-back World Cup finals and are the team of this generation, quite clearly, and I think everybody agrees it's because of Randall Colomawani and his brilliant
Agreed. Difference maker.
His first touch tap-in goal that made all the difference. But a serious clap it up for Morocco. What will you remember about this Morocco run, Jack?
Probably Ronaldo's tears. The contrast of emotions of just Morocco jubilation and the sun setting on a career.
You're not. I'm thinking of Ashraf Hakimi's penalty. That's what I'm remembering.
No. Ronaldo crying was good, wasn't it?
No, I'll remember Ashraf Hakimi's penalty because when they beat, I mean, nobody thought they were going to beat France. When they beat France, and it was like, all right, then why can't they beat Portugal? But when they beat Spain.
It was 2-0 France. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Spain. Definitely said Spain the whole time. I said Spain.
France haven't conceded a goal in open play during the knockouts.
No, they have
conceded
not.
2 penalties, but.
Yeah, no open play goals conceded. Well, I mean, they should have conceded that one, but I don't know. Morocco's done itself proud, chat. I mean, this is one of those all-time underdog runs. People still talk about that Cameroon run to the quarterfinal back in the day. I think this Morocco run's on that list. They had arguably the hardest road to the semifinal.
They took out as well, right? Like,
that's what I mean. They didn't just go up against, like, no offense to these countries, but like Denmark and Colombia to get to the, the semifinal. They went through Spain and Ronaldo's Portugal. Oh boy. World Cup final, France and Argentina. Preliminary predictions. Oh baby. This is a tough pick. I have no idea.
I feel like it's gonna be cagey. It's probably like a 1-goal game.
Oh, yeah, guys. I think you guys going 3-1. I mean, finals are usually boring and very low scoring. France 1-0. Maybe. I'm not locking anything in. I've got a couple days. I'm leaning France right now. But
1-1, but France win after extra time 2-1.
Oh, you think I think it's very reasonable we end up 0-0 in extra time, honestly. Can't see Argentina. I mean, I think that, but I could totally see both teams winning it. I mean, Messi, who seems to have all the weight of the world off of his shoulders now after winning Copa America, is just letting it loose.
It's the most 50-50 game I can imagine at this World Cup, Argentina v France.
I think France has
There's
a better overall team. I don't think that it's 50-50 in that. I think France and Brazil are in a league of their own in terms of overall quality as a team. But Argentina is in great form, good enough, and has the best player.
Hakimi and Mbappe swapping shirts.
Paris Saint-Germain teammates. That was cute.
That was a
Timer.
wholesome
Yeah,
moment.
I should stop the timer.
They're still playing, chat. They're still playing. Don't let what you see on your screens deceive you.
Yeah, well, you guys got your predictions in. Said France is just too strong. Argentina, Messi gets one. 8-3 Argentina is my favorite prediction, though. Thank you, Jack, for joining us today.
No worries. It was fun.
It was a fun match. And thank you for joining us. We will be back for the World Cup final. We're going to try and do something special. We're going to try and get I'm going to bother Kev and Ben and see if we can get a whole network game going for the final.
Oh,
that would be lovely. You got to help me bother them, though.
I'll bother them. I'm already poking them as we. I'm throwing pebbles at their windows tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah, get Careless Whisper on the boombox, cue it up, go sit outside and play it. That's what we're gonna try and do. We're have a great time. We'll be on like an hour before the final, breaking down everything, getting predictions in, breaking down the starting lineups, really going after it. Argentina and France.
Third, fourth place. Are you here for Saturday or you Sunday?
I honestly, I have not decided if I'm going to do that. I never watched the third place game, dude. I've never done it.
Chat, if you want Z to watch, you need to stop playing Careless Whisper. There's him as well.
Yeah, you got to come outside my window and play Careless Whisper if you want me to watch the third place game. I've never watched it before. But I know for sure we will be, I think we should just skip the final. I'm just going to watch the third place game on Saturday. Thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. We will be completing our simulation of the worst World Cup. We have the final round of group stage matches for most groups and all of the knockouts. We're going to get all that done tomorrow. If you have no idea what that is, it's this hilarious tournament we've come up with all of the worst teams from each continent have qualified. And it is, all you need to know is Nepal got automatic qualification out of the groups. It's huge. U.S. Virgin Islands has been immense. British Virgin Islands has been immense. Montserrat, a nation of 5,000 people, was actually too good to be there. So tragedy for Montserrat. They failed to qualify by virtue of having actual talent. But still, it's been fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. Thank you to Jack. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Jeff for helping raise over $1,000 today for Amnesty International. You guys are awesome. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Congratulations to France. Commiserations to Morocco. Long will you be remembered.